Hi, in chapter 3 we are going to learn how to split one class to two tables, and let us create a class called say customer. In this class customer I am going to have some data like customer ID, customer name, customer address, credit score and reward points. Now I'm going to generate the getters and setters for this particular data. So generate getters and setters and then select all and then click OK. Good. Now to create a table out of this class, we already know how to do that. All you have to do is go on top of the class and say at entity control space javax.persistence. Now to make this particular column a primary key, we have to go and say id javax.persistence. To make it auto generate the values, we have to give the annotation at control space generated value, and I'm not really worried about the strategy and all those things. Let's leave it at that. Now if I'm going to go test this particular class as it is going to create just one table, but no, I want to create two tables out of one class, and I want to have it maintain the referential integrity. So how do I create two tables out of one class? First and foremost, we have to decide, okay, what are the table names going to be? The first table name, let me keep it as customer, and let me create another table called customer detail and maintain a one-to-one referential integrity. So let's go on top of this class customer and then give the table annotation. And give a name like say customer, and then the other table that I want is customer details. So let us go give another annotation called sec control space secondary table, and now let us give a name for the secondary table like say customer detail. Now that I have decided, okay, I'm going to have two tables out of this one class, that is customer and customer detail. Now I have to decide which are the columns that go in this table customer and which are the columns that go in this customer detail, the secondary table. Now I have decided in this particular class I want the ID and name to go into this table customer and the rest of the other three data to go in the customer detail table. Okay. Now go to those particular getter columns like customer address, credit score and reward points, and here on top of the getter methods all you have to do is annotate it with column, and in this column annotation give a property called table equal to, and then give the name of the secondary table, that is the customer detail should be the name of the secondary table. Give that particular detail. Now you can copy this particular annotation and paste it on all the columns that you want to go to the secondary table. Control V, and then you can come here and paste it right here too. So what I'm saying is, in this particular class called customer, all the columns should go to the customer table except the columns that are annotated with column annotation and table customer detail. Those should go to the secondary table with the name customer detail. So let's go test this particular customer class. So right click on this package and let's create a new class called test customer. Public static void main, click finish. And this particular test customer, we need to have all those particular code that we had in the previous test employee. So let me just go copy some of the code like annotation configuration and loading the configuration file and stuff like that. So let me copy this particular till here, the schema export and stuff like that, and paste it. I will need to recreate the tables, so let's save it. And now you have to understand, you can import the schema export, and here I want to add the customer class. I want to add the customer class. So I'm going to add customer.class because that's going to be my annotated class. and let's add some data to this customer. So to add data to the customer, let us create a customer object. Now I have created a customer object called Alex. I have set the customer name and I have set the customer address, credit score and reward points and stuff like that. I haven't set the customer ID because it's going to be auto generated. And now to save this particular object, if you remember, we need to have the session factory session, and then we have to relate the session. So that's what I'm doing. Now I have the session factory session and begin transaction, all those things, and this is a transient object. Now we have to associate the session with this particular object, so I will say session.save, and then I will pass this Alex object, and then I'll have to commit the transaction. Committed the transaction. Good. Now let us run this particular test class and see how the results come out. Right click, run as Java application. Now you can see that it has dropped everything and it has created the table right here on the log files in the console. Now go back to the database. Let us refresh the schema. And here if you notice, see, it has created two tables, customer and customer detail. So easy to create two tables out of a class. And if you go to the customer has the customer ID and customer name. It auto generated this value 1. And if you go to the customer detail will have the credit score, customer address and reward points, and it has the customer ID. So it also maintains referential integrity. We don't have to worry about maintaining referential integrity. Hibernate takes care of maintaining the referential integrity between these two tables. So once again, to have a quick look, all you have to do is to split one class into two tables, make this class an entity class, and then give an annotation called table and give a name for this particular table, and then give another annotation called secondary table and give a name for the secondary table, and go to the getter methods of the columns that you want to go in the secondary table. Just annotate them with @column table and @column, give the same table name which you gave for the secondary table.